are going to be recording. So yeah, kind of what I was saying, why I like the guided bootcamp more than the a regular course is because I didn't know how to teach people how to do this. So it took me about, I think, 2 boot camps to fully understand. All right, I have to go back to square one. This is, what is support and resistance. This is how properly to do top-down analysis. And as I'm doing that, I'm like, wait, why are all of your guys' charts not looking like mine? And I'm like, fuck, I didn't teach these people how to make the trading view the right way, taught them trading view, whatever. And then when we go back to the support and resistance, like, yo, why don't you guys have the time frames? I didn't teach you guys the time frame. So it was a battle probably for 6 months teaching people, like me teaching people how I trade. So I decided to do it live, and on the 4th boot camp, everything is just to the T perfectly. Put the beginner section in there. I've been getting a lot of feedback on the full beginner section on like the baby pips part. A lot of people out there, they just screenshot, upload pictures of baby pips, call it their own. I feel like that's super unauthentic and taking credit away from baby pips. Baby pips is fire. So for a piece of the beginner section, I do recommend them because they're pretty fire. But after, like, I think pre-K or something like that, it's pretty whack. But everything is in there. I think everybody's getting on so far. When can we get access to the videos? Everybody that was part of the guided bootcamp, you guys should be in there either later today or tomorrow. Have the team helping me with it. Yesterday was just like a mission. Discord, the notifications, I didn't really know how to work Discord properly, so all of the messages were hidden, and then I figured out how to do it. So I have somebody helping me. But I think everybody that is now part of the guided bootcamp, you guys have access, and the OGs, part of all the boot camps, you guys will get access very soon. I feel you are alive, really engaging. Yeah, I'm super energetic throughout the whole entire boot camp. Oh, I'm just always like this. There's no way I cannot. It's just my personality, right? So you guys hear me good? Everything's good. Love all the familiar, some familiar faces. I've seen some new faces. So shout out to all of you guys. All right, let's just do this. All right, so now let's go to trading view so we could start. The stay warm, boys. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm seeing a lot of ladies lately. Shout out to you, Sarah. I see you, Sarah. How are you? Okay, so let's do this. Let's bring this over here. So I'm going to put the chat here to the side. So kind of give you guys kind of some context how I pretty much pull up to the charts every single to the markets every single week, and I wanted to do 5 o'clock because the market opens, so it's right on time. So whenever I pull up to the markets, obviously in the whole entire guided boot camp, it pretty much tells you what pairs I trade. So these are all of the pairs that I actively watch. There's a big difference between watch and trade, right? Like I will watch all of these pairs right now during the weekend. So I prepare for the week ahead, and I'll put my top 2, top 3, top 4. And that's where I'll bring this up. Let's say it's top 3, top 2, top 4. And then I'll actively trade these for the week. For the rest of the week, I'm not looking at any of these, right? Because none of these are aligned with the trading plan that we're looking to approach. We're obviously looking to have trades that have the highest probability setups. So within the guided bootcamp, it gives you a full entire guide how to take a full swing trade and how to take a full day trade, right? So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to kind of skim through the market and figure out the top 3, top 4, top 5. Who knows? I have no idea how many are ready for this week, to align them, whether they're going to be a day trade, whether they're going to be a swing trade, whether we're going to wait for it to come and be a swing trade, or whether we can day trade it to the area of interest where we're going to look to swing trade it. If you guys are with me so far, type 1. If not, type 2. Some IML stuff there. Fire. Perfect. Okay, let's do it. All right, so we're going to start off with pretty much the ones that we were doing last week. So last week I had Euro GBP for number 1. So as you can tell, we have the weekly time frame is bullish. The weekly time frame structure bullish is here. We went here from bullish to bearish, but then right back to bullish. We have a higher high, higher low. And when you guys watch all of the recordings, I pretty much caught every single move to the T. doesn't get any more perfect. And as we're going to keep doing every single week when we hop in here. Oh, by the way, that's going to be weekly calls in here. So every single Sunday, I'm going to give you guys my watch list, my top 3 or top 4 that I'll be watching for the week. And then you guys can add that to your list if you guys have other pairs, or you guys can throw in the Discord, whichever pairs make the most sense. Because there's some pairs out of my list that look better than the ones that I have. They just don't happen to be on my list because I removed them. They'll usually be here on my watch list. So as you can tell, these are pretty much the other well-known Forex pairs in the whole entire market. I just don't have them on my blue list because as time kept going, I pretty much just fell in love, quote unquote, with these, but I really don't have a preferred pair. It's just whichever one makes the most sense. So weekly time frame is bullish. The daily time frame is bullish. You can see here how it went from creating higher high, higher low, high low, high low, high, to then breaking the structure point, then creating low, lower high, low, lower high, and now us being bullish again. This is a perfect example how the daily went from bullish structure to bearish structure to now back to bullish. But if you notice, we didn't go bearish for no reason. If you go back out to the weekly time frame, when we create this weekly higher high right here, we understand that whenever we have a higher high, we need a higher low, correct? Type 1 if yes, type 2 if no. Perfect. Okay, perfect. So we understand that we need a higher low or a potential higher low to have our next higher high move. But in order for this weekly time frame to have this higher low, the daily time frame is going to have to go bearish in order to get to this area of interest to then buy. And then this is where we would catch our day trades short to this area. So then we overall catch the swing trade up. This is a prime example of it happening right here. As you can see, it is bullish. Oh, shit. Well, I clicked this, whatever. The point is that, let me just delete it again. The point is that when we created the high, we then went bearish for the weekly time frame to get to our area of interest, which would be the previous structure point. So it's pretty much the same exact example. So it would be this structure point here, this one here, this one here, and then this is the pullback. You guys are seeing how it's pretty much the same thing, just obviously on a different line. Type 1 if yes, type 2 if no. Just a brief explanation, just want to get you guys kind of comfortable, get you guys in the feel. Everything is in the guided bootcamp. Just want to get you guys with the flow, right? So we understand the weekly is bullish. We understand that the daily is bullish. And then when we go down to the 4-hour time frame, I would personally consider it. Let's see. High, low, high, lower, low. Would I consider this an elbow? Probably not. I kind of have to get the touches. So technically the 4 hours bearish because of this point right here, right? So I mean, yeah, bearish. So we have, in order for this trade to go long, we have pretty much a 20% trade, 20% towards our grade to go long, because obviously weekly and daily time frame being bullish is 10% each towards your confluence. Going back kind of to the daily to buy, I only look to buy daily or weekly areas of interest. I do love the weekly momentum. I do love how we have this weekly bullish candle, but the only thing kind of turning me off is the daily time frame, how we're pulling up to this level of resistance, support, resistance, resistance, and we happen to be under it. As you can tell, last week, what I was expecting to do, last week when we were like this, I had my analysis set up where I was looking for price to come back into this area here. So I would take the trade long. And then obviously on the daily time frame, that looked beautiful, because on the daily time frame, it was a bullish candle like this. So I was looking for the wick pullback. So it would look something like this, the wick pullback into this area of interest to then buy. But obviously it never happened. This is why we wait for our entry signal, our shift of structure, all of those things. And as you can tell, pretty much the trade never happened. So as of right now, I'm looking to only buy above that zone. I'm not looking to buy under it. As you can tell, whenever we're under we're selling. Whenever we're under, we're selling, underselling, underselling, underselling. And whenever we're above, we're buying. Whenever we're above, we're buying, we're buying, we're buying, and we're buying. So in order for me to buy, I need to be above this zone. So I'm just going to put an alarm here to let me know when and if it breaks out of this level. That doesn't mean I'm taking the trade right away. So doesn't mean that I would take the trade right away. I would only take the trade once it breaks, comes back and retests to go long. But I want to know when it breaks it, if it decides to, right? So you guys understand what we're looking for here? Type 1 if yes, type 2 if no. Fire. Is it clean so far? Is it simple? Am I going too fast? Drop a comment. If some of you guys don't understand, it's probably because you guys have to catch up to speed with the Guide to Bootcamp, so don't even worry about it. Couple recordings that you guys watch, it'll make super sense. All right, perfect. Let's go to gold, gold, gold. So obviously you guys know gold is going crazy. So gold, we understand that the weekly time frame is bearish. As you can tell, this would be low, lower high, lower low. That's pretty much it. Anything in between this structure point and then this one, it is still bearish. Again, all of that is in the Guided Bootcamp. Daily time frame is bullish, and then the 4-hour time frame is obviously bullish. So let's be honest, kind of the same exact thing is about to happen here, how it happened on Euro GBP, and we can capitalize off it, even though it's not a swing trade, it is a day trade. So as you can tell here, when we have a weekly higher high, even when it's something like this, when we have a weekly higher high, we're expecting a higher low for the next higher high. But within this higher low, there could be some nice intraday trades or day trades to catch to the downside for the push to the up. It's the same thing here. This has created a very nice higher high. Well, not a higher high, it's just created a high when we're pulling up to our weekly EMA. So this could be an area where we can have our higher low to continue going to the upside. Same exact thing here. If I just flip the chart, let's say this created a higher high. This is our higher low to go to the upside. So this is our higher high, a higher low to go to the upside. It's pretty much the same thing that can potentially happen here. This little pullback to go to the upside, right? So before we do that, we want to understand what the weekly is doing. So weekly is bearish. The market structure is bearish. The daily time frame is bullish. So as you can tell, the market structure went from low, higher high, whatever, higher high. So the daily time frame is bullish. And then if we go down to the 4-hour, the 4-hour time frame is obviously bullish. So something we need to take into consideration is, let's say we're looking to take a, right now, let's say we're looking to take a day trade, right? Or whatever, intraday, let's just put day trade, or let's just put counter trend trade. We only have currently a 10% to start off to take our shorts. So let's say we would be looking for shorts. Bro, oh my God, imagine I would still be holding this trade. That would be insane. If we were to take shorts right here, this right now, starting off, we only have a 10% grade towards our trade because all we have is the weekly time frame bearish. Versus if we were to go to Euro GBP, just by starting off, we already have a 20. So all we need is the 4-hour to go bullish, and we already have our 30. All the other confluences, it obviously adds up, builds your grade, so on and so forth. So we need to keep in mind, we at least need to get another time frame here to go bearish in order to take this trade short. And probably the next time frame to go bearish will be the 4-hour. We just have to wait for the 4-hour structure to break, and then we take the trade short. Something to keep into consideration. So if we're looking to trade this counter trend trade short, which ideally it's not the best trade setup, first I have to see if we're pulling up to a level of resistance. So let's just take this off. Let's just leave this here because I want to do an example on that later. Are we pulling up to a level of resistance right now? Let's see. We have some resistance, support through here, some resistance here, some support. So coincidentally, this area that we pulled up in is pretty strong, right? Let's see if we can make it around psychological level. So we have around psychological level 1770 am I looking to take the trade shorts right now? Not really. This momentum looks pretty strong. Counter trend trades, I'm good. So really not interested in this trade. So I just put it down here. Next would be AUD JPY. Called this last week to the T perfectly. The weekly time frame is bearish, and I'm telling you guys right now, we can mark this off in the calendar. We can do whatever. This is going all the way over here for a fact, and it's going to do it this week. As you can see, this time frame was creating high, higher, low, high, higher, low, lower low. So the weekly time frame went bearish. Now we're having our pullback retracement to this level. We have a very interesting left head and then a invert right shoulder with the break of structure. So we have here the by the way, did you guys understand gold? Was gold clear on why I'm not interested in it? Does that make sense? My bad, guys. I just get in the zone and if I start talking too much shit, just let me know. I'll slow down. Just let me know. But I just start going. So, I mean, do you guys get gold or do you guys not get gold? And you guys will see at the end why we're not going to trade gold, because there's going to be other pairs that make a lot more sense. It's very simple, right? What would you rather do? Would you rather take this trade, which is pretty much on a rocket? Not saying that you don't want to hop on the rocket, but you want to get in the rocket here before it takes off. Because right now it's pulling up to the spot where the rocket steam is running out and then it has to come back down. So I'm not trying to get in at the end of that rocket. I'm probably trying to write it down, but writing it down is pretty risky. So I'd rather take a trade like this where it's about to push up to the upside. You get me? So that's pretty much the reason why I'm not interested in gold. Do you think the weekly is bearish based off of the structure? Yeah, we're pretty much at the highs, right? So let's continue to AUD JPY. So AUD JPY, we understand the weekly time frame is bearish. I don't know what this is. Right, weekly time frame is bearish. Daily time frame is bearish as well. As you can see here, we had a low, lower high, low, lower high. Then we went bullish again. Then we had a shift of structure here. So now we're completely bearish on the daily. Daily is bearish. And then the 4 hour is, let's see, bearish as well, right? So again, these details you guys will get in the guided bootcamp. You guys got to catch up with those videos in order to be up to speed. Whatever this is bearish, right? So the 4 hour is bearish. So we're obviously looking to go with the swing trade because we're selling with the weekly, selling with the daily, selling with the 4 hour. So already to start off, this trade has a 30% towards your grade. Tell me this doesn't make, just by that, a lot more sense than gold. Gold is all over the place right now. Even though it does look nice, it does look bullish, but you're not taking into account the market structure. This is where a lot of traders make mistakes. Where did it go? It was AUD JPY, right? Right here. Why is it on forex.com? Let's see. Oh, I know why. AUD JPY. OANDA. Here it is. All right. Okay. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Oh yeah, by the way, you guys got to add these things in OANDA, because if it's not an OANDA, you get the gaps. So you see here, forex.com, AUDJPY, forex.com. There's gaps everywhere. It just looks sloppy. If you go to OANDA, there's no gaps. But that's part of everything is in there in the guided bootcamp. So we'll take this off. So AUDJPY, we understand that the 4 time frames are bearish. So now pretty much the next rule is, where are we selling? It has to be at a weekly or a daily area of interest. So right now, my area of interest for the weekly time frame was here. As you can see, it was marked off. It already hit it perfectly and it's rejected. So we pretty much can't sell at the weekly area of interest again, because it's kind of gone. We have to find another area of interest. So another area of interest we can possibly find would be on the daily. The next daily area of interest for me would probably be any structure area in between here. So I usually get a line, throw it in the middle, see where it gets the most touches. So here we have some resistance, some resistance, some resistance, support, support, resistance. So it's a nice zone. So I'll try to get the top and get the bottom of it, try to get the majority of the touches, not making it look too crazy. So you see, we'll get here some wicks through here. We'll get some bodies to here. So I'm putting the box to the top of these bodies here, putting the box to the bottom of this body here. And then the trick that I do to find the round psychological number, which again, everything is in there, you just drop it in the middle. Literally, you just drop it right in the middle of the zone. You double tap it, and then you try to find the nearest psychological level. So in this case, it would be 9,400. What a coincidence, 9,400 lands right around the top of the area of interest. So we're looking to sell at this area. So we're looking to sell. So we're waiting. We're not eating yet. We're waiting for the rejection of area of interest. So this is where I would put my alarm at this area of interest around this zone. Once price touches it, we look this up. Pretty simple. We've already had a nice rejection candle here, which this is awesome. And if price manages to trickle back into this area, reject 9,400 again, if you notice, the 4-hour will still remain bearish because it'll literally just be a low, lower high, low, lower high, lower low. So we'll have a rejection from area of interest, rejection from round psychological level. By that time, this EMA will come in here, rejection from the 4-hour EMA. Everything we're looking for to take into a trade will be there. Swing trade, just set and forget. Take profit. If we're selling at a daily area of interest, we would set a take profit based off of the daily zone. So it depends how low we want to go. We could set multiple swing take profits, but I guess, you know, I really do figure out the take profit after. For me, when it comes to taking a trade, I want to figure out the stop loss first. If I could get a nice stop loss, I'm sure any take profit I put has to have a minimum of a 1 to 2 risk to reward. And that could pretty much be to the next structure level or here, who knows? But yeah. Do you take the trade at any time of the day, at specific times, in New York session, London session? Yeah, I mean, London session, New York session, there shouldn't, not that I won't take it. Don't get me wrong. I could take a trade in Asia. You just got to be prepared for what's going to happen. And what's going to happen is nothing. You're just going to pretty much wait, just do nothing. So I just try to take it pre-New York, during New York, pre-London, during London. But I won't not take a trade if it really does depend on this. And you guys will understand this, for those of you new guys, what this is when you guys complete all of the videos. You guys have to go, like, don't skip to the last video. It's pointless. You guys have to go through video 1 all the way through 11, and then the golden video explains this perfectly. But you have to see, like the importance part of the whole entire guided bootcamp is, imagine doing this, what we're doing right now, but every single day for 30 days. When you hop on the recording, you see how I said, all right, guys, we're looking for it to come here and go here. When you go watch the next video, you see it, how it went from here to here. And it's crazy seeing that. You're seeing how it requires patience. And when it came here, why I didn't take it, or why I did take it. So, you know, you kind of have to build towards that. This is a great start, right? So as of right now, I'm looking for the pullback to this area of interest in order to sell. And personally, myself, I think this trade right now makes a lot more sense than this one. So we're going to put this one as number 1. For now, this one is number 2. As you can tell, it's already kind of breaking to the upside. So we're just waiting for that break above and retest to go long. GJ, so yeah, this is so you guys get an idea of kind of how it looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But this is in Spanish, so don't even just disregard that. So weekly time frame, are we bullish or bearish? Let's see. I want to see what you guys think. Are we bullish or bearish? Based off of the structure. Correct. Correct. We got one person wrong, two person. Okay, 2, 3 wrong. Somebody said So, okay, so this is a very interesting answer. Somebody said bearish because we broke below the support. So I highly encourage you have to watch the first videos because that explains why we're not bearish, right? So let's go on this perfect example right now. So right now, let's see. Is this market bullish or bearish? Is this market structure bullish or bearish? Okay, but we broke under. Let's say this is the resistance. Exactly. So we are only bearish if we break under the structure level. So just because we break under the support or resistance, it doesn't matter. There's another support and resistance here, which if you notice, it's this one right here with this level of resistance right here. So we have resistance here. So exactly, it didn't break the elbow. So again, video 1, video 2 clears all of that up perfectly. Oh, what the hell did I paste? So as of right now, this market structure, again, structure is all of this that you're seeing right here, is bullish. We have a higher low, higher high, and this can be a potential higher low because it hasn't created a higher high just yet, right? So this time frame right now, weekly time frame, weekly is bullish. Daily time frame, let's see, is the daily bullish or bearish? Bullish or bearish? Correct, correct, correct. About 90% of you guys correct. So the structure is bearish. You see, we have high, low, high, low, high, low, high, lower, low, lower, high, lower, low. So we're looking for the same exact thing that the market does every single time. When we break the structure, come back, retest previous structure point to sell. Break structure point, come back, retest previous structure point to sell. So as of right now, we have the daily bearish, and then the 4-hour, I'm pretty sure it's bearish as well. The 4-hour is beautifully bearish. Some trades we caught last week. We caught that one. We caught this one. As you can tell, we are bearish as well on the 4-hour. So as of right now, we are taking a day trade because if you notice, the weekly time frame is bullish. So this is kind of dangerous. This is pretty much the same thing as we can be in your GBP. Is the bootcamp, do you go over trading? Yeah, everything is inside there. Literally everything. So you got to keep in mind because we're pretty much at the area where the weekly time frame can create that higher high, right? We're not at the beginning. So in the guided bootcamp, we have something called 1, 2, or 3. Right now, we're not at 1. This would be 1 because 1 is the highest point. 2 would be on the way to area of interest, and then 3 would be once you're at the area of interest, right? So let's say this is our area of interest. In this case right now with GJ, let's say this was our area of interest, or let's say we mark it off to be this one. We're pretty much already at 3. We're at the area where we're looking to have the push up. So if we're taking sells here, they can be very small. We can easily get wicked out because we're at the area where we're looking to go to the upside. Does that make sense? Type 1 if it does, type 2 if it doesn't, or if you guys already knew that, I don't know. 1 to make sense. Yeah, makes sense. So if this trade were to be here, which in this case, it would pretty much be, let's say we were to be something like this. Bro, what am I doing wrong? Oh, I know what I'm doing wrong. Clicking the wrong button. It's this one. So if we were to be something like this, it'd be like, all right, it's a 1. We're still at a high. We're not on our way just yet. So if we were to be doing something like this, be like, all right, we're on our way to our area of interest. This is where we can hop in, catch some little sell trades to this area where we would then be looking to take the trade to the upside. even here. So now when we get here, you kind of want to get out. And we've obviously already got into this area. So we're not really looking to push the sells too heavy. Just something to keep into consideration. So if you were to be taking a sell here, we already have a 20% towards our grade. And if we were to be looking to sell, we would pretty much look for rejection from this area of interest. As you can tell, this is a level of support, resistance, support, support, and then some support through here. So we're looking for it to have a pull back into this level to sell. We'll get a rejection from EMA. If you notice in the 4-hour, it'll be pretty much the same thing. If we're looking to sell, coming back, retesting the previous structure point. We're looking to come back, retest the previous structure point to then have the sell-off. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. You guys have any questions with this one? Is there any concerns? So look, this is the importance of putting on an alarm, bro. Adrian got excited. Yeah, this is the importance of putting an alarm, because it tells you when the market's doing its thing. So this is where we go back to your GBP and it's breaking it, but not breaking it enough. So we'll put another one. Where do you enter this trade? So when it comes into here, and then it gives me my shift of structure, this is where I'll take the trade short. So I'm gonna put here. Waiting for the structure to go short. Would that be a day trade? Yeah, this would be a day trade because we're going against the weekly. Where do you put your stop loss? Depends where it does the shift to structure. So that just really does vary. So you guys understand, GJ, does GJ look better than AJ, or does it kind of look the same? Which one would you rather take? And that's pretty much where you have to ask yourself where you would put it. Would you put it up here? Would you put it down here? GJ looks better. It depends. For me, I just go based off of this. So this right here looks a lot better to me because if you notice GJ, the weekly is bearish. For here, GJ, the weekly is bullish. So for me, this one right now, based off of just a simple grade, this one's looking a lot better versus GJ, but we'll leave it here for now because it does look better than, let's say, gold. So let's keep it going. So we got NZD CAD. Weekly time frame is bearish. Daily time frame is bullish. And then we have the 4-hour time frame, which it is bullish, right? So do you guys understand why this is bearish? Type yes if one, type 2 if no. Victor, those are different types of trades. Those are big time different types of trades. All right, perfect. So you guys understand why this is bearish. Beautiful. So we'll just type it up. Weekly is bearish, daily is bullish, and then 4-hour is bullish, right? So this is where we would go to the daily time frame. So if we understand that the majority obviously is 20% because we have these two time frames bullish. So we know that this would be a day trade because we're buying with a daily. And the 4-hour is where we would go down to the daily time frame and pretty much look for our areas of interest to buy, right? So this is where we would get the zone, kind of flip it around. And again, how do I find these areas of interest? Everything is in the guided bootcamp. It's crazy. It's super simple, very self-explanatory. So this would be my first area of interest because we have resistance, we have some resistance, some support, some support, some resistance, some support, and then support. And then this is where we would go down to the 4-hour. Then on the 4-hour, we have obviously strong level of resistance, strong level of support. So this is where we pretty much just need a little pullback into here to then go long. It's pretty simple. We go down to the 4-hour. This is going to be a super easy trade. When the 4-hour gets to here, hopefully this EMA has then caught up to here and then uses it as support, pretty much how it's done this whole entire way up and this whole entire way down as resistance. So now, as you can see, it's flipped to the upside. So this is where I will put my alarm. Edit NZD CAD. Retesting area of interest. There's a big difference between retesting area of interest and then taking the trade, right? So as of right now, I'm actually liking how this one's looking versus GJ. So just my personal preference. So I put it above GJ. We keep it going. USD CAD, I don't really like how it's looking. It just doesn't look clean to me. It's just very simple. Would you rather take this trade or would you rather take this trade? This trade looks a lot simpler. You just need a little pullback to pretty much buy, and then that's it. This one just looks a little crazy, so I don't even look at it. NZD JPY. Honestly, I'm, yeah, I'm good. I don't like this zone in here. As you can see, we're pretty much in a pretty big box. Whenever we're in this box, we're in here forever. I'm not trying to trade in here. I'm trying to trade in here. This is where you can set and forget. Can't really set and forget in here because you're just stuck in here forever. So I'm good. AUD USD. Some confluences that I had. Oh yeah, these are some confluences that we got for buys. These buys are probably the easiest buys on the face of the world. Same thing we're waiting for on NZD CAD. If you notice here, when we created this push here, I'm pretty much waiting for a pullback to go long. And, it's pretty much what happens, pullback to go long. So it's the same thing that should happen here on NZD CAD, pullback to pretty much go long. But right now, not really liking AUD USD. Weekly time frame just does look nice because we are pulling up to my weekly area of interest. Weekly area of, let's just take off some of these lines. There's too many lines going on here. We'll take off this one. So we are pulling up to a weekly area of interest. It is respected as resistance in the past. Some resistance here. It does look good, but I don't like how we kind of closed above. Don't like the daily. Simply move on to another trade. Same thing here. We caught this trade. It was pretty simple. Just take all of this off. Weekly time frame, we are bearish. We broke through this area of interest. The daily time frame, we are bullish, pulling out to around psychological, and then the 4 hours big time bullish. I'm good. It's just choppy. Euro JPY. So you guys just seen the difference between these trades and let's say this one. You guys see it or no? Because if you notice, I'm looking for trades like this. I'm looking for stairs. I'm not trying to make my own stairs. If you notice right here, we're making stairs. Right now, we're at the point, we're at the third step to just go to the next step. It's pretty much it. I look for clean trades. So this one looks good. So we're going to get our area of interest, kind of mark it off here. If you notice, this one's, I already know everything's bullish because I have these things kind of preset for weeks. And we're just waiting for retest of area of interest. We're pretty much getting that right now. We have a retest our area of interest, but there's a con, right? So now the daily is bearish. And then it'll get to the point where you can see it as fast as I just did. But as you can see here, this was high, higher low, higher high. And now we are bearish on the daily. Kind of the same thing that I explained on GJ. In order for the weekly to have this pullback, daily time frame has to go bearish. And then the 4 hour is bullish as well. So, I mean, bearish as well. So this is where we'll come in here and change this to bearish. So now in order for us to take this trade long, it's only a 10%. So a good ideal thing would be to wait for the break of this structure to take the buy. I'm looking for the buy because we're buying at a weekly area of interest. If you notice, is the weekly resistance. And if we go down to the daily, it is it's okay, respected. But if it looks okay, but in order for me to take this trade long, So, but if you take it's 20%, yeah, my bad. Sync. Yeah. And I only look to take trades if it's a 20%. I don't really look to take trades if it's a 10%. It just simply doesn't make sense. It's not worth my money. As of right now, we're at 10%. So in order for me to take this trade, I need this structure level here to break. Once the structure level breaks, it should have a pullback. On this pullback, I would take the trade long. So this is where I put my alarm here, waiting for break of structure. So that means we broke it. So this is where I know we broke the 4-hour structure. So after it gives me my little break, then I need to wait for my higher low to take the trade long. So this is looking good. Just got to wait for that. This one does not look better than GJ, better than none of these, but we'll put it under here for now. GBP CHF, I don't have a preferred pair, but me and this pair were yin and yang forever, but I haven't traded it forever because we're at a place where we've never been ever. Kind of I should be a singer. No, I'm kidding. So yeah, right now we're like at the bottom of, we're at the lowest point we've been in the history. I'm not trying to get involved in anything all the way down here because where am I going to put my take profit? Where am I going to put my stop loss? There's no data. I want to get in these areas here where I can put structure points where there's actual, stuff that you've seen in the past. So right now, I'm good on this. This is just at the bottom. Same thing with GBP USD. We're at the lowest point we've ever been. I'm not trying to sell back down to the lows. That just doesn't, I don't know. It's never been done before. So I'm not trying to make it happen. I don't think my, 20 lots are going to ever make it happen. Same thing, Euro USD, it's pretty much hitting the lows ever. So I'm good on Euro USD, even though we've gone bullish. So if you notice here, this time frame, we were creating, just look at these stairs. Like, look at this. Tell me this isn't about a change. Like, we're about to buy Euro USD for the next 2-3 years because you're looking at it right now. You can come back to this recording whenever you want. So we have low, lower, high, low, lower, high, low, lower, high, low, lower, high, lower, low, higher, high. This has been trending bearish since May of 2021. So I don't know how long that is, probably a year and a half. What a coincidence. We've just broken out of that. So again, what do we need in order to continue going to the upside now? We need a higher low to then now start creating our stairs to the upside. You guys see how that makes sense, or does it not make sense? Type 1 if yes, type 2 if no. Perfect. So as of right now, we've just broken the bearish structure. So this is where we go down to the daily, same thing as the daily. Everything that has a high needs a higher low. We go now to the 4-hour, everything that needs a high needs a higher low. So now this is where you ask yourself, is it worth catching this sell, or should I just wait for it here to then take the buy? That's what I'm gonna do in this case. We can wait for retesting this area for the buy. So if you notice this line that I have marked off here around psychological 1.1 thousand, it's resistance. It is resistance. And when we come back to price right here, it is support. It is resistance and it is resistance. So I'll wait for it to come back and then give me that wick. Once it gives me that wick, that's where I'll get in to have my next higher high to the upside. So right now, this is pretty big swing trade that once I do get it, it'll be a big set and forget. And then I kind of have it at the bottom because you just have to be realistic with yourself. Do you think next week's candlestick is gonna give this wick in here and then at the same time give the push to the upside? Probably not, right? So it's gonna probably take 1 week to come into here, another week to create a rejection candle, right? So let's just mark this off as a doji. So that's about 2 weeks. And then we'll have on the 3rd week, the push to the upside. It's just exactly what it does every single time. If you notice here, this is the 1 week pullback, the 1 week doji, and then the push to the downside. It's literally does it every single time. It's just over and over and over again. Same, I mean, I could go here. We have 1 week pullback, 1 week doji, 2 week doji, push to the downside. Same thing here. 1, 2, 3 week pullback, doji, push. 1 week pullback, doji, push. So now we're just going to wait for the same thing for here to then go to the upside. Type 1 of it makes sense. Type 2 of it doesn't. Please. This part is boring. This part's super boring because we haven't gotten to the top ones yet. So right now it's just boring because we got to go to like look through all of them. I usually do this. I just put on my headphones and I'll just go through it in like 30, 45 minutes. But for now, your USD JPY, same exact thing. You zoom out. I'm good. We're at the highest point we've ever been. I don't want to be involved in anything up in here in this area. I don't want to buy now. Like, ask yourself, do you think we're gonna? It could 100% be done, but do you want to be part of now the next higher high to the moon, to Bitcoin at 80K? I'm good. I'll wait for it to come back in here and I'll figure it out what I do in here. So USD JPY, I'm good. NZD USD looks very interesting. We're approaching a pinnacle area. If you notice, it is resistance here. It is support here. Can we make this around psychological level? So I do the psychological levels every 500s. Again, I talk about that in the bootcamp, but it'll be 61,500 or it'll be 62 round. Obviously, in this case, 62 round is too far. So we'll keep it to 500. I mean, 250, I guess it's cool. But again, in the bootcamp, I explain why I don't want it to be 250 because it's a certain percentage towards your grade. As of right now, it's approaching the around psychological level. Daily time frames bullish, 4 hours bullish. We have a lot of other pairs that, in my opinion, I think look better. And then CAD JPY, I think it's on the same boat. It is not. CAD JPY weekly time frame is bullish, but we're at an area where we can possibly go bearish. This needs a big time pullback. I'm good on CAD JPY. So for right now, this would be our top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But we know Euro USD and Euro JPY need some time. So for now, we'll just cover these two. So for this week, we have AUD JPY for shorts. We're waiting for rejection of area of interest to take the sell. We got Euro GBP, which we're waiting for the breakout. Pretty simple break and retest for it to go long. And then we have NZD CAD for a pullback to go long, and then GJ pullbacks to go sell. So the way how I organize them, it can either be based off of the grade, which one do you think has, the majority of the grade, or which one is the closest to take the trade. So as of right now, GJ is pretty freaking close if you ask me. It just needs a little pullback to here, rejection candle, and then we could sell. So GJ is pretty close. AUD JPY is pretty close. We just need to pull back to this area. Obviously, they're both JPY pairs. They're pretty much the same. You can see it's the same move that's happening right now. But I would put AUD JPY on top of GJ simply because it's 3 time frames in sync versus GJ has 2. So AJ would be my number 1. And then Euro GBP just needs a little breakout retest buy. NZD CAD kind of needs the whole pullback, rejection, then buy. So that's why Euro GBP, I think, should be going above NZD CAD. So this is this week's watch list. I'm excited to see how next week comes because I want to come back and next week and be like, everything played out or nothing played out. So I don't know. I do think the majority of this will play out. But yeah, let me stop the recording here. So